Hey, more film shoots! Give me more! Even though I'm dying and I'm tired, give me more! What's up, it's Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite albums, and today I'm going to be doing an album review on the new Iglooghost album, Tidal, Memory, EXO. So, Iglooghost, British electronic producer, is back with a new album, and I've been covering his music for quite some time now on this channel, actually. Yeah. Back in 2017, he released the album Neo Wax Bloom, which I thought is some of the most interesting, some of the most unique and at the same time catchy electronic music to be produced in 2017, but also in the entire decade, because Iglooghost has a special sense of club beats and break beats that make it feel kind of alien-like, especially with the strange album titles and track titles and the music videos that he has going for himself that gives his music an alien-like aesthetic. In 2018, he released a couple EPs. One is Clear Tame, the other is Steel Mogu. In my opinion, these two EPs are the best works by Iglooghost, especially the EP Steel Mogu, which I really freaking love, and I constantly revisit some of the tracks as well. In 2021, he released the album Leyline Eon, which I thought was a bit underwhelming. The whole album comes off like a movie soundtrack. It's very atmospheric, it's very tame, it's very soft, it's very pillowy, and it's not something that I like to see Iglooghost going. So, as a reaction to that, in 2024, he released the album Tidal Memory EXO, which is a complete opposite rebound from the softness of Leyline Eon to the harshness of Tidal Memory EXO, because in this album, essentially he does one thing: harsh industrial rap. He raps on every single track, and that is not a huge surprise considering that Iglooghost himself has already rapped a little bit on Neo Wax Bloom and Clear Tame, the title track. He also rapped on it, but here he pretty much makes a rap album, which is incredibly interesting. Essentially, every single track we hear some monotone robotic voice over some intricately produced deconstructed club beats, break beats, and drill beats. And one thing though is that every single track on this album sounds the same. There's not a lot of variety going on in the album, and it does get kind of tiring at some point. Even though the tracks individually are all fantastic, I do feel like on one sitting, this album gets pretty tiring, at least for me. So the album opener starts off with an intro track titled Blue Hum, which is very much a tone setter. We have an atmospheric bed of vocals and synths and a constant crunching beat. And then we have New Species, which is a fantastic track, which immediately dumps us into this retro-futuristic world with glitchy club beats, monotone rapping that almost feels like it's part of the mix, like the percussion part of the mix perhaps. Alloy Flea is much more toned down in terms of density, also one of the more forgettable tracks here. There are more club and more break beats where every single sound feels like a glitch in the Matrix. Now, one of the highlights on the album for me is the single Choral Mimic, which the intro of the track boop, 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 sounds like rubbery shoes tapping against a metal wall. And then slowly the track develops into one of the catchiest tracks on the entire album, with cycling beats, smashing sounds. It builds up to a dramatic climax. It is a banger of an industrial rap track. And then immediately following that, we have something that feels like a departure from the album's aesthetics. Spawn 01 featuring Syst features these repeated hi-hats that feels like it's almost reaching a trap beat, except it's not. We have these breathy female vocals, which perfectly contradicts the sound of the track in a way that really complements each other, and it's really moody and atmospheric, and I really like that. The next track, Flux Cocoon, is also pretty good, being the most hip-hoppy track of the entire album. This track also samples another hook and uses it as a repeating refrain, which makes it Again, very hip-hoppy. Pulse Angel is just more of the same. Same I can say for Echo Lace, which leans more into breakcore than club, and it's much more atmospheric and airy than other tracks on the album. Following that, we have Nematode, which is another highlight on the album for me. We have these sunburnt, bass-boosted electronic breakdowns that are very impressive, and they at the same time coincide with house-flavored keyboard hits, so it feels relaxing and stressful at the same time, which I really love. Finally, we have the last three tracks, which I think are pretty solid. Germ Chrism, which is easily the most aggressive track on the album, before it melts into this easygoing hotel lobby background music at the last leg of the track. And I mean that in the best way possible. It's super metallic and smooth and kind of surreal. Then we have Dewdrop Signal, which is more of the same of the previous track, which is again one of my biggest complaints, if not my biggest complaint of the album, is that there are a lot of tracks here that sound kind of similar to each other without a lot of dynamic or change. The album ends off with Geosprite XO, which is a pretty atmospheric ending. I know I've used the word atmospheric like 4 times already on the album, but it does get a little atmospheric. But I love the chopped up breaths and the glitchy club beats. And in a lot of ways, this track sounds like the breakdown on Clear Tame, the title track, but extended, which is great. But yeah, that said though, even though there's a lot of amazing musicianship that goes onto every single track here, I can't help but feel like a lot of the tracks feel too same. So I can't say I enjoyed the album full way through. Like if you pick one track out from here, I would probably really like it. But if you put all of them together for 40 something minutes straight, it's a little too much. Give me a little more up and down, please, you know. So yeah, I'm giving this album a strong 7 to a light 8 out of 10. So have you listened to the new Iglooghost album? Comments below let me know, subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching.